Women don't understand money. And when I say that, it sounds controversial, but it's true. And a lot of the times, men specifically in divorce cases don't understand that. And lawyers really don't understand that either because they're used to dealing with money. They're used to talking about it. And they do the same thing in these files over and over again, but then complain that the result isn't what they want. I'm Ryan Benson. I'm a winning divorce strategist, an unbiased expert witness, a hero to my clients, and a villain to their exes. Welcome to the Stay Rich Show. Men are more logical than women. Women are more emotional than men. Does this mean that we're not emotional as men? No. Does this mean that women don't have the ability to exercise logic? Of course not. But I deal with women all the time as clients. And one of the biggest stumbling blocks is that they don't understand money. They're money blind. And I am forced into this role where I have to talk them down and go, I know your husband makes a lot. And maybe you think it's $3 million a year, but I've been through everything. I've gone through bank statements. I've gone through credit card statements. I've gone through cryptocurrency. I've gone through their business with a fine-tooth comb. And at the end of the day, they're really making like $350,000. And that's what it takes to live. That's what it takes to afford your lifestyle. And that's what's been sending your kids to private school. And that's what has been paying for your Mercedes SUV. It's $350,000 a year. Maybe you think it's $3 million, but it's not. So let me give you a mediation tip. This is one of the best tips I've given to lawyers as a consultant, is to walk into the mediation and start talking in a language that women understand, right? Because there's two things that women and men care about in divorce. It's what's happening with the kids and what's happening with the money. And the women probably understand the kids better because they're women, they're mothers, they're nurturers, they care. But they don't understand the money side. But men understand money. You tell a man, here's $10,000, and they automatically know what that means. Generally, some guys are bozos. But you tell a woman about $10,000 and they don't know what it means until they have the chance to process it into lifestyle. Now, this topic is controversial because online you hear these red pill manosphere douchebags talk about how women only care about money, but they don't. They care about lifestyle. So when you go into mediation, tell your attorney, we need to translate this into a language that my ex-wife is going to understand, because I don't want her to be uncertain. We built up a lot of uncertainty in this process. And this settlement offer, this negotiation, is the chance to give certainty. And the more certain she is about the outcome, the more likely she will be to accept it and be happy. And this is so important. So yes, your attorney is going to have to go through the numbers. Here's how much you're going to get in alimony. Here's how much you're going to get in child support. But that is the opportunity now for them to tell a different story and say, you know that home that you live in, the matrimonial home? Don't worry about it. With the alimony, that's going to get paid for. You know that car that you drive? The Mercedes SUV or the BMW or the whatever, Lexus? That's going to get paid for too. Don't worry. You know how you shop at Lululemon all the time? You can afford to. Doesn't matter. That's going to get paid for. The kids are still going to be in private school. You're still going to be able to go to yoga or Pilates. You're still going to be able to travel. In fact, we carved out something in this agreement so then you can continue to take the kids to Hawaii every year. Because I think that that's important for you as a mother and us as a family, that our kids continue to benefit from your hard work because you've been at home dealing with them all the time. And that opportunity to connect for you and them is important to me as the father, because I recognize your role as the mother in this equation. And that relationship is important to keep going and to remain positive. Start giving them the story. Women, when they go into these mediations, are terrified. There's a lot of uncertainty and they are scared. There's horror stories about losing everything and not being able to afford anything anymore. And women have a right to be scared, just as men do. But when you provide that certainty, when you provide that security, what you're doing is signaling to her that this is now a safe time to accept a settlement, not drag it out and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees, not make it contentious, and accept something that's positive for you, for her, and for the kids. Because now she knows her life's not going to change. The kids will be around a bit less. You're not going to be around as much, but she's going to be able to maintain the things that she loved and not stress. There's enough stress already. If you're trying to settle, if you're trying to negotiate, if you're trying to get to a win, to get out of this process as quickly as possible, at as little cost as possible, keeping as much of these assets as you can and income, and as amicably as possible. Start speaking women's language. Recognize the fact that they don't understand money and give them security by describing the lifestyle that they will be able to afford. That's my tip for now, and there will be many more here. If this resonates with you and you want to connect with me further, reach me at stayrichddivorce.com.